We are loud, obnoxious, and completely inappropriate. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the Coffee Mug Show. Welcome. And today we have a very interesting topics that we're going to be talking about. And yes, we are going to be talking about Solo, Star Wars, because all three of us actually saw it in the span of like 2 days. So, but before we go there, we're going to start talking about a couple of things that kind of interesting. So, again, my name is Leonard. I am drinking coffee on a Christmas-themed Star Wars mug. So, Mark, what are you drinking today?
Again, I just got an owl mug. Found it, so I'm just gonna drink some juice out of it right now.
Derek?
I have my Game of Thrones Winter is Coming mug.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm drinking just some OJ today.
Okay. Well, today your plan today is to go to Harry Potter escape room, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the one in Ajax?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to talk about that next week then, because we need to know how was it.
Question is how long did you guys have to book for? Because I heard it's all sold out.
I booked probably 2 or 3 months ago.
All the time.
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus. Well, apparently it's only for 1 year, right?
It's only for an hour, yeah.
No, sorry, I couldn't hear. You guys froze up there on me.
How long is this going to be a permanent escape room, or is it just a theme for this year? You guys know?
Well, actually, they've had it for some time, and actually they're going to tear it down in June, I believe. So that's why we wanted to go now before it does. I guess, they swap them out every once in a while, keep things fresh, keep people coming back, right?
Yeah, best way to bring kids in, right? Okay, so we'll start with something simple. As you know, if you live in Canada, we receive a massive nationwide update on our cell phones for the emergency alert system. If you guys don't know what it is, the alert system is in Canada. It started as a radio and television. So when you receive an alert regarding natural disasters or an emergency, you'll get you'll get something in your TV or radio saying, "Hey, this is an alert." But now the government decided to expand it to mobile devices. So about a month and a half, 2 months ago, or even 3 months ago, we received an update to all cell phones, all mobile phones, with smart mobile phones, with an emergency system. So how it works is there's an emergency, it goes into our phone, it tells us in bilingual language in French and English saying that, hey, there's an emergency, stay tuned for more information, for example. And so according to the government, this alert system was deployed in partnership with the federal, provincial, and territorial emergency management system, including Climate Change Canada and the Weather Network. So it covers the whole country. It's actually a pretty cool system. But unfortunately, last week we received our first emergency alert. It's for an Amber Alert in Thunder Bay. I have no issues with that because that's pretty cool. But unfortunately,
you should explain what an Amber Alert is.
Okay,
first.
So Amber Alert is if I remember correctly, it's an alert system for missing children, or kidnapped children.
Yeah, it's also implemented in the States.
Yeah, it's implemented.
I don't know if it's really for kidnapped children. I mean, it's the idea that they want to get the message out to the public about a child that's missing, either for them simply being missing or possibly, as you said, perhaps abduction or something to that effect.
Yeah. So we receive an Amber Alert in Thunder Bay. So if you guys don't know where Thunder Bay is about 1,300 kilometers away from Toronto. And the system itself is supposed to be geotagged. So in other words, if you are in Thunder Bay, you get the alert. But if you're in Vancouver, you should not be getting this alert. but unfortunately, they accidentally transmit the alert all over Canada. So, but the good news is they did found the child. We did receive another alert saying the child was found, but now critics are criticizing how the system works. My questions for you guys is, what do you guys think about the system? Does it work, or this is a great first step?
Well, it works. You can't deny it. It works. Because I got the messages. Other colleagues of mine got the messages. As long as you're on the LTE network, right? If you're not, and if you're on like say 4G, you don't get it because at my at the job site that I'm working at, multiple of us got it, while like the same number didn't get it. So I mean, the system does work. It is working as advertised, as what was explained to us, and how it's supposed to work. So that's a good thing. Now, regarding the types of alerts, I just didn't like the fact that I received 3 text messages about this, about the Amber Alert. One in English, one in French, and then a third one of Amber Alert being canceled, both in English and French. So,
Derek?
Well, I agree that it was a little frustrating to have those 3 messages, but I think also that's important to have those 3. I think the thing that I'm taking issue with more that it was from Thunder Bay, and not necessarily that us in Ontario or in Toronto. I mean, if the police believed that whoever this person abducted the child was coming to Toronto, that might be relevant for us for that geolocation to be advised. But I think my concern with the system is a couple things. One is that, firstly, it's a great system, wonderful. Apparently, they spent a lot of money on this thing, and it really hasn't completely worked very well. The second thing is about, and I don't know if this is the case, but in regards to trusting the alerts as well, because in the States, they've had a lot of problems, and I know, Leonard, you have a few points to point out about that, but they've had a lot of problems in multiple different states about this. And if the system is hacked or something to that effect, can we rely or trust on the information that's coming through that?
Well, here's the thing, though, because the issue. Well, there's one issue when this actually came out. It happened in Florida. Some guys hacked the emergency system, similar to what we're talking about here, telling people that there's a zombie infestation in Florida, and they found out that someone hacked it, and it was a publicity stunt for Walking Dead. So it is there is pros and cons in the system. The system does work, but unfortunately, it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fine-tuned, right? But is this a worthwhile investment for the government? I say yes. It needs to be fixed, yes, but at the same time, it can be very, very dangerous in the way that if someone uses the system in a publicity stunt like what happened in Florida, right?
Don't get me wrong. I think it's very valuable, especially for children who are lost and so forth. Yeah. That's very valuable. The next question comes up is, where's the balance between the inundation to the people, the public, about having these text messages come out, and public safety and the public assisting the police in various investigations and so forth. Right now, I believe it's limited to emergency messages on natural disasters and also the Amber Alert. I believe that's the only limit, the type of text you're going to receive at the
local moment. Weather as well too, I believe, as far as I know,
for like extreme weather, right?
Yes,
like, yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the little thing that I kind of had to double read because I wasn't really sure if I'm reading this correctly. Whoever got the update on their phones, right? You cannot opt out. There's no opting out in the system. It is an emergency system. So a person can say, no, I don't want to receive a text or a message. It's literally on, no matter what.
And I don't have a problem with that either. I think it's an emergency system. If it's treated as that, great. As you said, if we start getting zombie alerts, then I start raising the question either of security or of how the people that are running it are making these decisions about the balance between the inundating the public and the public trust, right?
Well, I mean, it's just like, again, it was like back in the day when you got the emergency broadcast on your TV. It is for life-threatening situations. Um, did they test it sometimes? Yes, they did. Did it have they had to use it at times? I mean, f- from what I can recall, I've never seen an actual alert coming on the TV, but it was there. And I don't have an issue of having this alert system here and available. I mean, it's the next step, right? Everybody has majority of people have cell phones. You get this alert out for life-threatening situations, like, um, and I don't think it's uh, going to be used often. I mean, every time that an Amber Alert comes out, it is it is sent on, it's posted on the TV. Now they're going to just send it out through text messaging.
And also the other thing is with the old system, as you said, it would come on the TV and it didn't matter where you were. It was an all or nothing system. It
Yeah,
wasn't geolocated. If something happened in Vancouver, we would still hear about it.
that's right. And you couldn't opt out of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time you opt out if you change the channel or turn it off.
no, you cannot,
Channel.
you can't change the channel because it's actually based on the cable, right? So the cable networks will send it out. Um, Now, is it even on the American channels? Because it's our Canadian system that sends it out. You're going to receive it on all channels. That's what it's all for. So, regardless of what channel you were on, you were going to receive it.
Yeah, I think the reason why they did this because in Canada, especially in the border cities, like or pretty close to the U.S. Canadian border, we do receive stations from both sides, right? So if you're in Canada, you get like radio stations and sometimes cable TV or stations from the U.S. or vice versa. I think this is the way to separate our definition of an emergency compared to the U.S. emergency, right? So, like again, it's for me. I have no problems with it, but I do have a problem if the system is it's not fully tested or fully vetted out, right? That can be very, very. It can be very annoying, and plus it loses the importance of the system,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, then again, with any technology, that's the whole thing. It's like, again, it's um, there's always going to be someone who's going to try to hack the system, and unfortunately, nothing's 100% hack proof. Because everybody finds a way of hacking a network, and it's again, it's one of those things where we have to. It's the growing pains of having a new system being implemented, right? And that's with anything in life.
Okay, agree. Okay. Any last comments about this system?
Mm, Honestly, not really. I mean, it is what
Pretty
it is.
straightforward, right?
It is pretty straightforward, and I mean, it is being used for life-threatening situations, fire, natural disasters, biological hazardous, Amber Alerts. So again, it's just gonna follow the old ways, but on a new system, like on just a new way of getting it out to the people.
I think if people are looking, we go back to the point of opting out. I think that if you're looking at this for people that want to opt out, I'd say, why do you need to? What is so inundated? You get more inundated by Facebook than you would ever by this system. And so anybody who says, I want to opt out of this, people's lives could depend on it literally. So seriously, let that go.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Okay, so we'll go straight to the next discussion. Here's I think this is going to be a very interesting discussion. The question I have is this: from a normal user perspective, like none of us, not power user, like all three of us, just a normal user. Okay, is the traditional laptop dead?
I'm going to let Mark go
Okay,
first.
so here now
Go ahead.
before you jumped into this one, I've noticed a lot lately. Okay, commuting to like going to coffee shops and all that good stuff. That more and more people are using tablets with a Bluetooth keyboard, or not even using laptops anymore, or they're using a phablet, like an oversized phones with a Bluetooth keyboard. And I'm one of those guys, by the way.
and you suffer.
So is the word traditional laptop users or laptops, is it dying or is it slowing down in a way that it's just evolving to something more easier to carry, it's easier to use? So or is it gone? It's dying? What do you guys think about? But remember, this is just a question in a non-power users. You still have the workstations. I use a workstation at the office because I do CAD, right? So, is if you're using it just for doing sales work, people are using laptops now? Sorry, a tablet, right?
Okay,
So,
to
Mark,
your
we'll go
question,
with
it's
you
no.
first because I have this feeling you have something to say about this.
No, it's not dying out, and I don't think it's slowing down either. I don't know where you're going, but all the Starbucks here I go to, there's at least 4 or 5 people sitting down with laptops, and they're not power users, and but they're students. Um, they're just regular people who are doing their stuff or regular work, like like an everyday person. I see a lot of tablets. Yes, I've seen a lot of the Microsoft Surface. Um, a lot more people using iPads. The Samsung Tabbies. Um, Again, it all depends upon what the person wants. Um, Regarding tablets and all these other mobile devices, you still don't get the feel or the necessary power, I would say, when you want to just even do a simple spreadsheet.
I've used okay. Right now I'm using because I have an iPad. I
Mhm.
use Microsoft 365
Okay.
on it. Okay, I do. I agree. There's a couple of things in Word and Excel you can't do, like pivot tables. In Word, I think it's like art. It's like the word art thing that they do for titling is the only difference. I also use G Suite a lot because my work requires us to use Google Docs a lot. And
Mhm.
to be honest with you, every time I go to a meeting, I use my tablet. I don't bring my laptop anymore because I have apps. The apps will work exactly the way the desktop version works, right?
Mhm.
Or close to it, right? So for me, when I see this, I see it a lot in the trains, subways, even streetcars, even the coffee shops downtown Toronto. Majority of the people I've seen is just using their tablets now.
Well,
Right?
I mean,
That's why the question I posed the
okay.
question
Well,
to
I mean,
Ted,
okay. You
right?
gotta First of all, you gotta take away from streetcars, transit system, and everything like that. I mean, of course, everybody's gonna be on a tablet because it's a lot smaller to be able to read something on there.
Mhm.
Mind you, also when you're on the subway system, or even on the just regular taking a bus, if you don't have a SIM card on your tablet or like a Rogers stick for your laptop, you're not gonna have any internet access really. So basically, what you're gonna be doing is just reviewing some stuff, reading something, playing a couple of games on your tablets when you're on that. Going to coffee shops, like you said, the area that you've been going to, a lot of people have just tablets. None of them have laptops. But in my area, I've seen, like I said, I've seen quite more people with tablets. Oh, sorry, with laptops than tablets. Um, Again, depending upon where you are, it will determine what these people need. Like I said, a lot of the places I go to have a lot of students. They're all on laptops.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think that your first point is about what is the person actually doing on it,
Right.
and if you're going to write out a huge essay or whatever it is for school, you're not going to do it on a tablet.
Yeah.
From an ergonomic perspective, just in typing, that amount of typing, even though you can attach a keyboard to it, physically that's going to be really difficult to do. So I think laptops do have a good space in there. A lot of you wouldn't be able to do high uh, high productivity stuff on it, run very large programs. That's why they have MacBook Pros and so forth in regards to art students and things to that effect. So you'll never be able to do that on a tablet. But when we're thinking about casual, everyday work, I think a tablet would be fine. if as long as your work doesn't involve high volume pieces. My computer for work is a laptop, but it has a lot of security features on it because of the kind of work that I do and so forth. You can't have those kind of security pieces on a tablet in the same way. Um, Things like fingerprint scanners and stuff to that effect, right? Now, most laptops nowadays come with that. Personally, I'm a laptop person. I used to be a long time ago a desktop person, so I used to build my own base stations, but that's long since passed. I'm too old for that anymore. I'm not a heavy gamer anymore, and I think even for a laptop, you can have a heavy gaming laptop, but you can't play a lot of these games on tablets now that are high usage. And when we're talking about people in coffee shops and so forth, and Leonard, you're talking about your work works well with that, but I'd have to use a laptop for mine. So it's all about the situation that you're in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly because uh, I made a self conscious effort for the past year now to get away from laptops or even computers alone, and try to do all my personal work, all my photography work, even even video editing on a tablet, because it's one of those things that I try to minimize what I have with me, right? So when I travel, I only travel with a tablet and a keyboard, like a Bluetooth keyboard, and so far it's working for me. And I agree with you guys. It's depending on the situation you guys are in, the work you're planning to do. If you're a gamer, may or may not work. You prefer having a laptop or a desktop, right? So, but with the advent of like mobile apps that's actually getting more powerful more and more, or desktop apps are being moved into a tablet version or an app version. That's why I asked the question: is like, is it a revolution of like mobile devising usage of
I
just
mean,
leaving?
it is a revolution because I mean, again, like it's these companies want to have have the market in everything. Like, so if people are moving from laptops over to the tablet, okay, well, let's make a version of our software for tablets. Um, get into that market. Um, Again, this is all business decisions. These are all not because everybody's going to tablets. It's because, well, it's another way of generating, profits for a company. Um, for example, like take Microsoft. Microsoft was basically an application company running Windows, Word, Excel, and all that stuff. All of a sudden now, they started building what Xboxes. They got this Surface. Why? Because there's a market for them that they can generate more income going that way and that forward. It's um, so I mean, in a sense, yeah, like they wanna access these guys and make port over their applications into tablet form and mobile forms because they know they can make money from it.
Okay. So what do you like, in your day to day? What devices do you use? Do you use your tablet, your phone, or to your lab? What do you normally like? If you put a percentage, okay, for me, okay, I'm telling you right now, I'm about 80%, about 70% phone, about 30% on my tablet. Am I doing that right?
It's
Sorry,
100%.
20% on my laptop and 10% in my 10% on 20% on my tablet, and 1% 10 and the 10% is in my computer and my
Wow, you
laptop.
you had that much time to actually calculate how much you did? Wow.
Yeah, it's surprising
Like,
I did because when I was
okay,
putting this together, I was like, I need to figure
oh,
out, okay, how much do I
okay.
actually use?
So as you can see my setup right now, I'm on a laptop right now doing this, doing a recording here. I got my desktop right over here. I still have my tablet over here, and I got my phone over here. So
That
if you
brings up
get
a great question. Do you really need all that?
um actually, if I had a second monitor, maybe not. But I can't afford a second monitor right now, which is the next deal. But well, again, I have my phone is pretty much on me 24/7. It's my only form of contact um, for people to reach me via phone. Well, again, I mean, I got my emails on here and I got my games. I'm predominantly when I do a lot of my stuff. I'm on my desktop and on my phone. The tablet I use whenever I need a bigger screen to do something, and then the laptop is if I'm downstairs and I don't, you know, I don't want to come all the way up here for to use the desktop. I have the laptop downstairs to do all my whatever I need to do. So I'm pretty much, yeah, I'm pretty much this is me. Like
pretty
I got
pretty much balanced then.
Yeah,
it's
I
about
use my phone most of the time. You know, I have a laptop as well here, both for personal and for work. And you know, so obviously I use, if we're talking about work wise, I use it from a majority of the day. But my personal laptop, I use it. I've been using it a lot more the last couple of days. I was telling Leonard the other day because I'm playing a new game called
mhm.
Surviving Mars, and I'm kind of crazy into it. But so that's skewing the numbers right now. But most of the time, it's just the phone in the pocket that I use.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead,
Yeah,
Mark.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Like for me, I'm like, as I said earlier, like I use my phone a lot and my tablet a lot. I also have a laptop, a tablet, and a phone. Right. The the laptop I use is mostly for video and photo editing. That's
Mhm.
it. That's all I use it for. And for my tablet, I can do the same thing exactly what I'm doing on my laptop and my tablet because of Google's not Google, sorry, Adobe Cloud,
Mhm.
their CC system, their product line. And to be honest with you, everything I do in my tablet, it just goes straight to my desktop. So my desktop is actually turned off and only turned on when we do this podcast and editing, and that's it. Majority of the time, the rest of my productivity is actually on my phone or on my tablet. Even my work, I do everything on my tablet and just get syncs. Even all my drawings that I do, all the schematics that I do, gets ported into an app called Bluebeam, and it just syncs to my tablet after that. Right,
Okay.
so
I mean,
it's
let me ask
it's
you this though.
yeah.
If you had to choose between your tablet and your laptop for video editing, what would you do? Which one would
That's my tablet, because right now I can do 4K editing on my tablet right now.
you could do 4K editing? How long? But
Yeah,
how long does it take for it to render?
actually, it's not that bad. It's a 10-minute rendering only takes me. Well,
10
but I
minutes.
tested with a 1080.
10 minute rendering takes you
It's
10
it's
minutes.
it's it's half the best way to describe it, because when the last time I did a 10-minute 1080 60 frame edit rendering,
Hmm.
including graphics and all that stuff, it only took about 10 minutes, right? For a pinch, it's fine, right? But if you're for example, if you're traveling or if you're a vlogger and you're out of town and you don't want to carry your laptop, this is a great solution, right?
Hmm.
But if I'm doing like like this podcast is about an hour long, and if I need to do a rendering to video and rendering to audio,
Hmm.
this is gonna be dead by the time it goes like the first 10 minutes of it, right? So, but there is a drawback going to the tablet form, but yeah, but at the end of the day, I can still do what I need to get done in the tablet. But it's gonna take a longer, but it is possible,
Yeah,
right?
okay. So it's going to take longer. So out of a productivity standpoint,
Oh yeah, I never use for productivity wise, as you said. If it's something like a heavy user, or if you do need a workstation, uh, uh, like workstations, ability of a workstation to do rendering or anything like that, then yeah, for sure, I have no issues going to laptop, because it is what it is. It's a
mhm,
hardware problem. It's a hardware requirement, right? But if you have other productivities, as in you're just looking at PDFs or looking at or doing markups or anything like that, or even writing emails or anything like that, the tablet, in my opinion, is like, for me, it's a great solution for me.
yeah.
Plus, I don't like carrying my laptop with me all the time. And personally, it's getting heavier and heavier. It doesn't matter. I have a Carbon. I have a Lenovo Carbon at the office, and it's
Mhm,
still annoyingly heavy compared to my iPad,
mhm.
right? So
And that's where it comes down to for a lot of people. It's the weight. However, a lot of people still carry like they go with MacBooks or MacBook Pros. Even Windows laptops have been getting smaller and
yeah.
thinner. Now, I mean, the thinner the machine gets, um, I mean, you lose a lot of you sacrifice a lot of things. You may not get an SD card reader, you may not get any of those things also, but there, everybody's trying to balance um, the weight issue, and some people even have complained about tablets being too heavy.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to be one. It's not a tablet's not going to be the 100% go-to thing. A laptop's never going to be a 100% go-to thing. Uh, I mean, your question is, are laptops dead? No. Are they slowing down? No, not that I've seen. On my in my end. Um, Again, and it's what Derek said. It all depends upon what you're going to be doing
And I'd
and
say
what
that,
the person.
sorry, I'd say they're displacing the desktop. Desktops are more for very specific usage now. I think that that is true that they have been replacing desktops.
Yes, that is correct. However, when you're in a big company, guess what? A lot of them still prefer the desktops because they are still cheaper than getting everybody laptops, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and it,
Sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
and it's a lot easier to maintain a desktop than a laptop is. So
Mhm. Before we go to the next topic, well, I have
another
one more
one.
question to ask you guys. What do you guys think about Chromebooks? Is it a good alternative to a laptop? Is the Chromebook, in my opinion, the Chromebook is a great example of evolution from a full blown laptop going into a tablet space. It's almost like a stepping stone, or is it a different niche market? Because I've been looking at Chromebooks for a while now, and it's totally like intrigues me in how simple it is and it works, right? Is it is it um is it a good laptop replacement to traditional Windows or Mac laptops? You know what I mean? Does it make sense?
So you are making sense. And because, yes, me being the techie that I am, I did not really look into Chromebooks because I thought they were, yeah.
Children's version.
I would say that they're a niche market, and yeah, they're
Yeah,
very targeted.
Yeah.
it's just like the Microsoft Surface,
Mhm.
right? Uh, what is a Chromebook? What makes a Chromebook a Chromebook,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
I mean, you got Asus Chromebooks, Acer Chromebooks, Google Pixelbook, you got Dell Chromebooks. So, w- what is in a Chromebook? Like, what are their specifications that, um, I mean, I think the largest screen size is 15 inches. Um, but what's the guts of it?
okay. Well, right now, based on my limited experience in Chromebooks, I noticed that you can actually get a simple Celeron with 4 gigs, with like
Hmm.
16 gig hard drive, and it will run at least, I think they said, about 68 tabs in Chrome OS, right? Because it's the browser based system.
Hmm.
As soon as you get to 8 gigs, then you can do at least 10 to 15 tabs, right? So to run like in the background, and and right now, based on my research, Microsoft 365 works in it. G Suite works, of course. Even Apple iWorks works in Google Chrome, right? So the only caveat in that is you need to be online, but they are moving in slowly into to be offline, right? And school boards are both U.S. and Canada are actually using Chrome OS as part of their educational computers now because they're cheaper to run, easier to maintain, and as far as I know, because my niece has actually uses G Suite for a student, they do have their own email, but it's not connected to the outside world. It's just internally to the school itself, right? So that's why I'm kind of like intrigued about this Google Chrome thing, and I think this is a great solution for me. For example, if I decide to buy another laptop or my tablet dies or something, or you can actually make your own pretty cheap too if you have an old laptop.
Yeah, so a Chromebook is basically a laptop with a Chrome OS on it. That's all
Yeah,
it
it,
is.
it is what it is. Yeah, it's just a
So,
Chrome browser.
okay, so in your question, what's so the
My,
difference is just
my question is it a good stepping it's a gr- it's a is a good technology for you to leave or even to instead of going to a tablet, you still want a full size keyboard with the Chrome OS sort of a better fit for productivity, let's say, in a student or in a business
What's
situation.
Student considerations are weight, partially, right? Obviously, that's a definite consideration for them. I don't necessarily think that it has to be something that, a student or somebody would pick that as a specific device for what they're doing. I don't personally, I mean, Mark might be able to speak to it better. I don't see the innate benefit out of it. I look at it as simply a niche market.
And
Not looking at that.
you know what? I honestly, Derek, I agree with you. It is a niche market. Like, again, it's like Microsoft Surface. There's Surface units. Again, it's like how Linux. Um, Linux had some Acer machines out there, and you could bought them at Walmart, and they had Linux on them. It's another different OS to play around with. Is it a It's like, I believe it's like a crossover. It's like a crossbreed between a laptop and a tablet.
Okay.
Will it
Okay.
benefit anyone? It might. Uh, Again, I don't know too much about it. I haven't even read any reviews or um, the productivity behind what you can do with a Chromebook.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so
So we'll just die that now, as in like laptops are here to stay, depending where you are. Okay, so let's go to our third topic of this for this podcast. I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation. Star Wars Solo movie. Okay. Spoiler alert.
It's Solo, a Star Wars
Solo,
movie.
a Star Wars movie. Sorry.
So if you haven't seen it, you want to stop listening to this podcast, then you should go to this time index right here, and Leonard can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I-
time
I
minutes,
gotta-
and like you can stop now and go forward for about 18 minutes, and you're good to go. So I saw it last night with Derek. Mark, you
Uh-huh.
saw it on
Friday.
Friday night.
Yes, I got to see it Friday
So-
night.
Without telling the story itself.
Hey, you already said spoiler.
We already
alert.
said spoil, so we can talk about this.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine. If you
more
haven't
than
seen
more.
it
If they're
yet,
still listening, they accept it.
this show gets broadcast starting on Monday 7 p.m. So after 7 p.m., if you haven't seen it yet, it's your fault, not ours. So rate it to one as in the worst movie ever, to 10 as the best movie at all times, as in it's going to win every single award in every single country in the world. Okay, that's 10. How do you guys rate it without, as of like what you've seen? So what you've seen after you watching the movie, how do you guys rate it?
8. I ran like it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
And
Hold on, Mark. Hold on, Derek.
I'm gonna go a little lower, just at a 7 out of 10, just for specific reasons. But yeah, I'll go 7 out of 10.
Actually, I'm gonna go worse than that. I'm actually going to 5.5 to 6 out of 10.
You can't go 5.5 to 6. It's either 5.5.
Okay, fine.
or 6.
I'll round it up to 6 out of 10. Okay. Mark, you go first because you have the highest rating here. Let's see if Derek is actually
Okay.
disagree with you.
As you know, I've been a big Star Wars fan for many years. I was heavily into the extended universe. I read all the books. I've actually read Solo's the Corellian trilogy, which delved a little bit into Han Solo's past, but not really into it. After all the drama and all the issues with the first two directors being fired, them getting Ron Howard to come in, all these other things where the lead actor had to take acting lessons.
Jesus,
know,
are you serious?
Yes, there's reports out there that they sent it to actor. These are things I've read. And speculations that he was sent out to get more to get trained on how to become more of a better Han Solo. the movie was quite entertaining. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it. Like I was expecting to something really, to bomb. Uh, but from the get go, I had a smile on my face. It was quite entertaining, and then at the end, and then the first person that I see get credited for the movie was Ron Howard. That's where it is. It's Ron Howard. I've been a big Ron Howard fan for a long time. Even in his days of being, Richie Cunningham in Happy Days, like, um, so that's why I gave it an 8. Like, the actual movie itself, like I said, it was quite entertaining. It was actually a lot more humorous than I expected. Um, Woody Harrelson did a great job. Um, even Paul Bettany being in there. Like I was even surprised. Like I didn't pay much attention to any of the other of Solo because I already had this feeling about it. I didn't even know Paul Bettany was in the movie. Right.
And if someone doesn't know who's Paul Bettany like me, who is he?
Paul Bettany. If you guys are a big Avengers fan, he plays Vision.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, okay, I know. I
also
can see the face, but I don't know the person's name.
Yeah. He also played Shaggy in the Scooby Doo movies. He was also in Priest, Legion. Is it Legion?
Legion, the priest, yes.
I believe he was also in Legion. I could be wrong about Legion, but yeah, he was in Priest. So, that's why I gave it. Like they salvaged. Ron Howard was able to salvage that movie and made something of it. Is it the best Star Wars movie ever? No. Was it the worst? No, because I can name one that's really worse than that. So, to
Which
me,
is?
well, episode 1, but
Well, we could really get into a discussion here. But
it's not. That's the thing. It is not the worst Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Okay. So, I think first thing I would say is people have to put their expectations on a certain level here in regards to this, because we had Rogue One, which was its own standalone movie, which I got to say, I really loved Rogue One. I thought it was beautifully done. To create an entire mythology around one line from a Star Wars intro was a great thing. This is an origin story. This is about Han's Solo. Han Solo is a smuggler. He is a villain, and not a villain, but just somebody who's not playing by the Rebel Alliance rules and so forth.
He's a bad guy, nice guy.
Yeah, exactly. So what is this? This is a heist movie, okay? And I went in having sort of that expectation. This is not a movie that's going to be huge star battles and so forth. So if you go in expecting that, I think that's an unrealistic expectation. So when I give it a 7 out of 10, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 as an okay heist movie. Do I think it's the best movie I've ever seen? No, it isn't. Do I think the acting was good? Woody Harrelson was great in it. I love that guy. Yeah. Any movie he's in, he does a great job. I had concerns about the main actor playing Han Solo, and to be fair to him, you could feel sometimes that Han Solo kind of coming through in his acting, and I like that. You got to also remember, he's acting as a young Han Solo. Han Solo is not Han Solo yet. He's learning how to be that. Woody Harrelson was giving him all these tips and tricks in the movie, don't trust anyone, so forth and so on. This is how he acts when he's older, right? So it is that origin piece. I did like to see his origin story. There's a sort of a romance in there that was kind of interesting, where he's not really close to a lot of people and so forth, and I like that aspect of it. And then also when you look at people like Lando Calrissian, how they met, so I enjoyed seeing how everybody met. I enjoyed seeing how everybody became who they are. But that's what you get out of this. Same thing that would happen with a Yoda movie. It will be coming out. That'll be the same thing. It's not going to be the Yoda that we know. It's going to be a young Yoda as a Padawan or something to that effect. And that's the kind of movie we're going to get. From a Star Wars perspective, yes, it was great. We got to see the Millennium Falcon. They were in a fight scene with a couple TIE fighters. That was great. But that was your action in the movie, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you take a look at it, you're right. This is Han Solo as a kid, as a young person who has his ideals, and then it changes to what we know him as being the rogue scoundrel, you know. However, even if you see him now, and you see him in the actual in his older self in the trilogies, the original trilogies, as well Force Awakens, he still had a heart. And that's the one thing he it's like there's this internal turmoil between him. Do I do the right thing, or do I just turn my back? And it always comes around that he tries to do the right thing, right? You see it in this movie as well, right?
If you see, and also think about the next movie. The next movie would be, if they do another one, it would be along the same lines as this one. It would be a little more development. You'd probably see a little more about the rebellion being interlaced with what he's doing, because he didn't he came to the rebellion only as a second thought in
Yeah.
A New Hope. It wasn't something he was seeking. It wasn't something he wanted. They even made a point in this movie to say, hey guys, I'm not part of your rebellion. I'm just so through all the next, whatever it is, we'll arguably say 20 years of his life or 15 years of his life, he was a smuggler. He wasn't part of the rebellion. It didn't.
No, he wasn't, and that's the thing about him, right?
Well, they said that this Solo movie is like 10 years before episode 4.
Right. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
episode 4,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So for me, is like, okay, it is an entertaining movie. That's hands down. It's very entertaining. I have no problems with that. The biggest issue I have in the whole movie is actually the acting part. Woody Harrelson is amazing, of course. That's not a problem. What's his name? Who played Vision again? What's his name?
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany, amazing actor. No problems with that. What's his name? Glover, no issues. Emma, whatever her name is, Khaleesi. I'm really bad at names. Sorry, guys.
Emilia Clarke?
Yes. I always have issues with her acting.
Hers,
yeah. I
Why?
always have, even Game of Thrones. I always have issues with her acting. And the guy who played Han Solo.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah. His particular acting really, in my opinion, sort of brought it down a bit, because I don't feel like he's actually doing I feel like he's not even acting at all. He's just saying the lines and smiling. He's just a pretty boy, in my opinion, right? So it's not like I'd rather see someone in Han Solo's character as a little bit more rough, a little bit more nice guy but rough, a little bit more like worn out, right?
but that was my point. That he is not Han Solo that we know yet. He's a young kid and so forth, right?
But in the acting side, in my opinion, the acting side is just horrendous. There's points that last night I got bored from watching them, especially when Emilia Clarke and him like conversing on screen. I was falling asleep.
I had more issue with the guy who played Lando Calrissian. I had more issue with that character than I did with Ibana.
Okay, let me go to that side now too. The weirdest things, I'm not sure if it's just me or you guys. The scene that when the robot died, I feel like he had an affair with the robot.
Okay.
It was like just sort of like a robot, like a robot human sort of a thing happening here. It's like I don't like. It's nice to have like a relationship with a robot, but when that robot
Do you
died,
have a relationship with a robot?
Okay. Here,
if I have a Dyson, yes. But,
all right.
but to be honest with you, that was just the weirdest scene in the whole thing. It feels like it was like some fetish that the writers had.
No. Okay. Here. Okay.
I'm just gonna leave it to you, Mark. I'm gonna just leave it to you. Go ahead.
You gotta leave it there. Okay. Look at Luke and R2D2's relationship.
But it's not like not like been sexualized that way though.
No, see, you're over sexualizing it. As I see it, Lando had one person that he could always count on and always had his back, and that was L3. L3 was his co-pilot. L3's mind was not wiped for how long, because she had the best navigational unit, like all the navigational charts for their smuggling days, had it. This is his friend, his partner, right? If you take a look at Lando, it was just the two of them. Lando didn't have a crew. Lando didn't have anybody else. Lando had no other human companion on his ship. except for L3. So in a sense, they shared a bond, and his bond is a friendship. It's something that it could be a machine, but because this machine you consider it your friend, and that closeness, and losing this person and not being able to think, it's like I've seen people freak out and cry over their phones.
Yeah.
I agree
Okay.
with Mark. I think that's a very good point. I think I think you were kind of over sexualizing it a little bit. I don't think it was a sexual piece. Do I think that the scene was a little taken out in regards to the length of it? Yeah, I could see where the director was going with it. As all these other intonations of the BB-8 and so forth, the other robots we've had. I can't remember the other one. What is it? What is
The one from Rogue One?
Yeah, what is it? I can't remember. Anyway, I love the one from Rogue One. I love BB-8. This one, I gotta say, I didn't care for it. I think that they didn't hit the mark with it. I think it was,
You know what, and that's the thing. L3 wasn't supposed to be anyone really. It wasn't.
I feel like there was something's missing.
L3 wasn't supposed to be like a C3PO or an R2D2 that was always in the main front. L3 is supposed to be again in the background. Now, if you remember what Lando's lines were, you could also take it. He's losing this robot, but he's also losing his business. But him being him, he doesn't want to show that. Well, it's because of my business I'm losing. That's why I'm crying it. I'll just say, okay, well, L3 was this person, but L3 was this one. That's why didn't you see when Han came up with the idea, take her, processing unit, stick it into the Falcon? He just it just dawned on him that he's not going to lose L3 and lose all that information. Don't forget, L3 was more of a product for him. Like it was his computer. Right. So
do you think that that's part of the storyline sort of missing? As you said, it's been cut too early, or it would be nice to explore that, sort of even take 5 more minutes to explore that relationship to make it more easier to understand why that relationship exists?
I mean, for some, they may have been able to do. They should have done that because, like yourselves, you didn't get what was going on. Like I said, I remember certain lines in the movie that he said about L3. That, okay, well, you know what, this robot is his friend, but it is also his business.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a smuggling business like Lando does, or it's like, what's the number one thing that you need at your navigational routes? You lose that, you pretty much lose out your business, right?
Mm.
But then again, like in a sense, and as I was saying before, he also lost a friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Derek?
I think the other piece that I took a little issue with again was Lando, and only because I think that his character was betrayed more as a villain, and also the piece I really disliked was the very ending of the movie, where they went back and they had that card game where he wins the Millennium Falcon. I would have preferred to see them, him save Lando and then him give it to him or loan it out to him or something like that, so that we see that relationship build a little bit more, other than, oh, I just beat you at cards, the ship's mine now.
Sorry, you know what? Unfortunately, I got to stop you there because it was always known. It has always been known that Han Solo won the Millennium Falcon in a Sabacc game against Lando Calrissian.
It would be nice to actually.
That was the bottom line for that.
Yeah, I guess I meant more about their relationship being built, because in the movie they didn't interact that much, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily have a problem with him winning the Millennium Falcon in that way, but you didn't really see the relationship build very much. So he was really a secondary part of the movie where I wanted him to be more folded into the story arc rather than being so off on the side.
But that's the thing. Lando's and Han's relationship first started, well, now because of this,
in a bar.
Like in this movie, the relationship started this way. But don't forget, Han and Chewie are going up now to go to Tatooine and hook up a Jabba the Hutt. In those 10 years or whatever, Lando and Han will build their relationship within these years to the point where we saw them in Empire Strikes Back, right? It's going to be at times they're the best of friends, then they're frenemies. Then they're going to hate each other, they're going to love each other, but they respected each other. And they're going to build that. And and because this is in the beginning, an origin story, not everybody's going to see that because it's going to be years of building up that relationship. And like I said, because I've been following the extended universe, which is now known as Legends, you get to see where their relationship actually form and how it intertwined with each other from the time that they met until Return of the Jedi.
It would be nice to actually have that card game where the first card game they actually had the movie. It would be nice to actually start that scene of like, okay, I lost my ship to Han, right? And they have that have that like sort of, as you say, frenemy feel to it throughout the rest of the movie itself. It actually gives you a bit of like, okay, I won the ship from you, but I flew the ship this way, and now Calrissian is sort of like respecting Han slowly, right? And but it still has that little tension on the whole movie. It would be nice to have it there instead of at the ending. The ending feels like, oh shit, we forgot something. Sort of like they forgot a moment in time. In my opinion, it would be nice to have that sort of tension throughout the half that movie. It would be great.
Yeah, but again, I love the way the movie ended. Right when they did the first game, honestly, I was disappointed that Calrissian won. I thought, okay, this is it. I was so anticipated. Okay, this is when Han's gonna win the Millennium Falcon. This is when he's gonna win the Millennium Falcon. But it didn't happen.
But on the other hand, I going back to what you're saying, I actually would have preferred that he won in the beginning, and then have Lando around afterwards, sort of again to build that relationship and have a different thing. So I'm not against him winning the thing. I just wanted to see more of that, or more of that interaction,
more tension.
Okay, I'll let you in a secret. Han has won the Millennium Falcon against Lando Calrissian twice.
I did not know that.
See, this is what I mean. This is like if you took all the extent, like the relationship, you're gonna find out a little things. Yes, Han Solo won the Millennium Falcon against off of Lando one time. Then they had another sabacc game. Lando won it back. They had another sabacc game. Han won it again. So this is where if you don't, this is where the legend side of things comes into play. And this is what I did not like about what Disney did, turning the extended universe into Legends, and everything that was in Legends is no longer canon, and they're starting a new canon. And I can understand. And there's one piece of information why I believe that they did this. It's to bring back Chewbacca, right? If you guys did not know, in the extended universe, Chewbacca actually dies in one of the series.
Well, we learned yesterday the guy is like 200 years old, for the love of God.
He needs to
old
rest.
man.
No, yes, Chewbacca has always been old. Chewbacca it was 200 years old, and I've known that. Wookiees have a very long life. However, Chewbacca died during the Yuzhan War because of the planet, a planet, Serpentidal. I forgot the planet's name, but it does start with an S and has a P in it. Exploded because the Yuzhan Vong used a planet-destroying weapon, and he died. Now, The Force Awakens comes along, and how do you bring back Chewbacca, who's supposed to be dead at this point in time, back into the movies? Well, you take all the canon stuff that was before, make it Legends, and you start a new canon. So all the stuff, like I said, with the relationship between Han Solo and Lando Calrissian disappears.
Okay.
And they're starting something new. But it has always been their mutual respect for one another as gamblers, as scoundrels, as smugglers, that they've always been close.
Okay.
I think that's a good point to end on. Yeah.
Yes, I agree, because we do have a hard stop at 11 o'clock. So
okay.
Let's do pick of the week really fast. Derek, you want to go first if you have one? Or no one has one?
Actually, my pick of the week would be this new PC game I've been playing called Surviving Mars. It's a strategy game, sort of like Civilization, and building cities and so forth. I've been very into it. It's taken up too much of my time. It's been out on Steam for a couple months now. That will be mine.
Well, sorry, I just spent I'm at 70 odd hours now on Skyrim.
Okay, Jesus Christ, guys. Okay, okay. So Derek, if you need to go, go ahead and go. I'm gonna do my closing. I'm gonna do my pick of the week.
Do your
So,
closing. It's fine. Go ahead.
so my pick of the week is actually a light meter because as some of you guys know, I'm actually an audiovisual designer. So I do a lot of theater work. I do a lot of boardrooms and buildings. So I do need to measure light. So because I'm also a photographer, so I ended up getting a few years ago a light meter from Sekonic, and it's a Sekonic L478D. This light meter is amazing. If you're looking for a light meter for photography and cinematography, get one of these. It's not the entry level one. It's actually the mid range one. It's a great light meter. Definitely recommend it. I'll put that link below in the description. So if you find this on sale, I suggest you get one. If you don't find it on sale, start saving because it's pretty pricey. Mark?
My pick of the week, I'm still waiting for it because it's been 2 years since these graphic cards vendors have released anything. So there's nothing new for AMD or NVIDIA yet. There's been rumors something's supposed to be coming out, but I'm still waiting. So my pick of the week is, I was hoping that there would be some information by this time of new video cards coming out and the new architecture that they're going to be doing on, I believe, on 7 nanometers. But nothing yet. So Fortunately, I got shot on that.
So before I let you guys go, there's actually one more update in this whole podcasting venture we're doing. We're officially in iTunes now. We're officially in Google Play. We're officially in Twitch.tv. So if you actually, all the links are actually below now. So if you guys actually check it out, it would be great. Subscribe, it would be awesome. We did arrange the schedule slightly different now. So if you're watching this in Twitch, if you're planning to watch this in Twitch, every Monday at 7:30 at 7 o'clock, it will start televised. It will start showing live, and podcast and YouTube shows the next day. So we're hoping to get more subscribers in Twitch because all three of us need to get paid to do this. So, plus, we want to get more.
We do it because we love to do it.
Oh,
that
actually,
too. And we do want to make our production a lot better. So more subscribers will be great. So we can create more content for you guys. Plus, there are plans to have more shows in this channel. So stay tuned to that one as well. So yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing. Did you see one of the Easter eggs in the movie?
No.
What was Woody Harrelson wearing?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, my friend.
Okay, his disguise when they went to to Castle.
Yes. That was Cal's disguise in number
Return of the Jedi.
6 or something. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week at all these channels. So if you have any comments, questions, just leave it down below. We'll definitely answer them. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.